Capello, how are you?
Good, Steve, but sad to be losing a tenant like you. Congrats on the new job. Too bad you couldn't stay in town.
Yeah, thanks. And I'm sorry to go, but I've got no choice. Gotta follow the work. Anyway, here's my written notice, 1 month in advance, as you requested. So when do I get my security deposit and pet deposits back?
Not so fast. First, we need to schedule a move-out condition inspection report at the end of the month. Then, if everything's okay with the report, I will return your deposits plus interest. I have 15 days to do so from the last date of your tenancy or from when I get your forwarding address in writing, whichever is latest. So, you will need to give me your forwarding address in writing. The sooner the better for you.
Okay, well that's okay because it's already in there. Wrote it down for you. Now, when we do the inspection, what happens if you're not satisfied with the condition of the unit?
Well, then we decide on an amount that you owe me for repairs, or I would need to file a dispute resolution in order to take some or all of your deposits.
Okay. And what time do I have to be out of the unit on the last day?
By 1 p.m., unless you and I decide on a different time. Usually, I need that time to get the suite ready for the next tenant.
A tenancy ends if a landlord and tenant mutually agree in writing that the tenancy agreement will end on a specified date. The tenant gives 1 full rental month's notice in writing. It is the end of a fixed-term tenancy agreement, like a 1-year lease. Or if a notice is served and an order of possession is granted. Or the tenant has abandoned the rental unit. When ending the tenancy, give written notice. Verbal notices are not valid. A tenant who does not follow the proper procedures may be liable to pay the next month's rent or additional costs to the landlord. If Mrs. Capello wanted to end the tenancy, then she must serve notice using the appropriate notice to end tenancy. A landlord who does not use the appropriate forms will not be able to enforce the end of the tenancy. The landlord may use a 1-month notice where the tenant has promised to pay the security deposit and has not done so within 30 days of signing the tenancy agreement. A list of other causes can be found on this form. The landlord may also use a 2-month notice when the landlord plans to move in, do major repairs, convert the unit, or has sold the property and the new owner or a close family member intends to live in the rental unit. The tenant must be compensated by an amount equal to 1 month's rent on or before the last day of the tenancy in this case. In order for Steve to get his deposits back, he needs to do 2 things. Participate in a move-out inspection, and give his forwarding address in writing to the landlord. In case of a dispute, he should keep a copy of all the notices he has given the landlord and of those he has received from the landlord. If the landlord does not return the deposits within the time limit, the tenant may make an application for dispute resolution and ask for double the amount of the deposits. Landlords and tenants should try to resolve a disagreement between themselves before it becomes a bigger issue. However, both the tenant and the landlord have the right to apply for dispute resolution when an agreement cannot be reached. If you have any further questions on the rights and responsibilities of landlords and tenants, please ask the Residential Tenancy Branch for a copy of A Guide for Landlords and Tenants in British Columbia, or download it from the website www.rto.gov.bc.ca. The website has lots of useful information, including how to contact the Residential Tenancy Branch. If you prefer, you can call our 24-hour recorded information line at 1-800-665-8779. Happy tenancy.